1949. A hospital ward in Melbourne, Australia. A doctor named Cade is working with patients that no one else wants to treat. Manic patients. People who have not slept in days, who talk without stopping, who cycle between euphoria and destruction with no warning and no cure. Cade has no funding. He has no team. What he has is an idea that his colleagues consider absurd. He believes that mania is not a psychological failure. He believes it is chemical. And to prove it, he is injecting guinea pigs with urine from psychiatric patients. That sentence is not a metaphor. That is what happened. Cade collected urine from manic patients and from calm patients, dissolved it, and injected it into guinea pigs to see if the urine itself was toxic. It was. The manic urine killed guinea pigs faster. Something in it was different. Cade suspected uric acid. To test the theory, he needed to dissolve uric acid in a solution, and the most soluble compound available was lithium urate. He mixed it, he injected it, and the guinea pigs did not die. They became calm. Not sedated, not unconscious. Calm. Cade watched them sit quietly in their cages, alert but peaceful, and he realized that the calming agent was not the uric acid. It was the lithium. Here is the part nobody mentions. Cade did not have ethics approval. He did not run controlled trials. He tested lithium on himself first, felt no obvious harm, and then gave it to his most severe manic patient, a man who had been institutionalized for years. Within 5 days, the man was coherent. Within 3 weeks, he was discharged. After decades in a ward, he walked out and went home. Cade published his findings in the Medical Journal of Australia in 1949. The paper was 10 pages long. It changed psychiatry. It took the rest of the world 20 years to notice. The reason it took 20 years is not scientific. It is economic. Lithium is an element. You cannot patent an element. No pharmaceutical company could own it, brand it, or profit from it the way they could from a synthetic molecule. So nobody funded trials. Nobody built marketing campaigns. Nobody told doctors about it. For 2 decades, the most effective treatment for bipolar disorder sat on the periodic table, available to anyone, used by almost no one, because the incentive structure of medicine does not reward discoveries that cannot be sold. What lithium does inside the brain is even now not fully understood. The honest answer is that we know it works, and we know several mechanisms it affects, but no single explanation covers the full picture. Lithium appears to modulate neurotransmitter release, particularly serotonin and glutamate. It inhibits an enzyme called glycogen synthase kinase 3, which is involved in circadian rhythms, inflammation, and neural plasticity. It may stabilize the way neurons signal to each other, reducing the extreme swings between mania and depression without flattening the person entirely. Most psychiatric drugs either sedate or stimulate. Lithium does neither. It stabilizes. And that distinction matters because the word stabilize is the key to everything lithium does, in brains and in batteries. The element itself is unremarkable to look at. Lithium is the third element on the periodic table, atomic number 3, the lightest solid metal. So light it floats on water, so soft you can cut it with a knife. It tarnishes in seconds when exposed to air. It is never found in pure form in nature, always bonded to something else, buried in brine pools or hard rock deposits across 3 continents. And for most of human history, nobody cared about it. It was cataloged, studied, occasionally used in ceramics and glass, and otherwise ignored. A curiosity, an element with no obvious purpose. That changed twice. The first time was Cade in 1949. The second time was the lithium-ion battery. The principle behind a lithium-ion battery is not complicated, but it is elegant. You have 2 electrodes, an anode and a cathode, separated by an electrolyte. When you charge the battery, lithium ions move from the cathode to the anode. When you discharge it, they move back. That movement of ions is the current. The reason lithium is ideal for this is the same property that makes it unremarkable in every other context. It is the lightest metal. Lightest means highest energy density per unit of mass. More energy, less weight. That is the entire competitive advantage. The same element that is too soft, too reactive, too unstable to be useful for almost anything, is perfect for the one application that now defines the 21st century: energy storage. Now the scale shifts. The Salar de Atacama, northern Chile, one of the driest places on Earth. a vast white salt flat at 4,000 meters altitude, where the Andes block moisture from both the Pacific and the Amazon. Underneath that crust is brine, and dissolved in that brine is roughly 30% of the world's known lithium reserves. The extraction method is simple. Pump the brine to the surface, spread it in evaporation ponds, wait 12 to 18 months for the sun to concentrate the lithium, collect the residue, refine it. The process uses almost no energy. It uses water in a desert. The Atacama region receives less than 15 millimeters of rain per year. The mining operations consume billions of liters of water annually. The indigenous Atacameno communities who have lived in the region for thousands of years are watching their water table drop. Their flamingo populations are declining. Their ancestral salt flats are being hollowed out from below. This is not a secret. It is documented, published, available. It simply does not appear in the press releases about the clean energy revolution. Here is the connection that makes this story uncomfortable. Lithium stabilizes a brain. Lithium stabilizes a grid. In both cases, the mechanism is the same. You take something that swings wildly between mania and depression, between peak solar generation and midnight demand, and you add lithium, and the swings flatten. The chemistry does not care whether the system is biological or electrical. Stabilization is what the element does. And in both cases, someone pays a price that the end user never sees. The psychiatric patient pays with kidney monitoring, thyroid checks, a lifetime of blood tests and narrow therapeutic windows. The electric vehicle driver pays with a desert in Chile, a salt flat in Argentina, a mine in Australia. The cost is real. It is just not visible at the point of consumption. And this is where it gets interesting. The world currently consumes roughly 100,000 metric tons of lithium per year. By 2030, every credible projection puts that number above 300,000. Some estimates go higher. The bottleneck is not geology. There is enough lithium in the Earth's crust. The bottleneck is extraction speed, refining capacity, and the geopolitical reality that three countries, Australia, Chile, and China, control roughly 80% of the supply chain. This is not a technology problem. It is a resource geography problem. And resource geography has a history of creating dependencies that outlast the technologies they serve. Cade's discovery cost nothing to manufacture and everything to accept. A salt, dissolved in water, handed to a patient who had been locked away for years. No brand name, no patent, no profit margin. Just an element from the third row of the periodic table, doing what it does, stabilizing. Today, 7 million people take lithium carbonate. Most of them do not know that the same element powers the phone in their pocket. Most electric vehicle owners do not know that lithium was a psychiatric drug decades before it was an energy solution. The two stories have never been told together because the people who sell batteries do not want you thinking about mental illness, and the people who prescribe medication do not want you thinking about mining. But it is one element, one set of properties, one atomic number. And the question it asks is not a chemical question. It is a human one. When we find something that stabilizes us, whether it is our minds or our machines, how far are we willing to go to keep the supply running? And who pays when we do? There is another element in the battery supply chain. It sits 2 rows below lithium on the periodic table. Its story is not about stability. It is about cost, human cost. And the supply chain that connects your phone to a mine in the Congo is shorter than you think.